My name is Yunus, and I am the leader for the Falsafah Group project. And the topic we chose today was freedom of speech versus hate speech, and where should we draw the line? Freedom of speech is one of the most important rights for a human. It's a basic right. It gives them the chance to express their feelings and opinions. However, people tend to misuse this right, and this is where the issue starts. And people recently have been discussing whether we should limit the amount of freedom of speech, such as hate speech, or to even completely restrict the freedom of speech. Let us look at the definition of freedom of speech. It is defined as the right of an individual to express his feelings or voice his opinions without being restricted by the government or without any censorship or without any punishment. And this right is not for words only. It includes symbolic gestures, written materials, and other forms of expressions. Now let's look at the definition of hate speech. Hate speech is defined as any method of expression that attacks, spreads hate, or discriminates or spreads violence against a particular individual or a group of individuals on specific factors such as their race, religion, nationality, ethnicity, age, sex, and so on. Hate speech as well can be expressed in multiple ways, not just speech. It could be written by materials, imagery, symbols, and even behaviors. And it works by targeting an individual or a group of individuals from a particular type, and pejorative language is used, and this could be seriously violent. Thank you. Now let's move on to the benefits of freedom of speech.
So here comes the benefit of freedom of speech. It encourages of open expression. The freedom of speech gives individuals a right to voice their ideas, feelings, and criticism without fear of punishment, which ensures that everyone, regardless of background, can participate in public conversations. Also, it promotes discussion and better decision making. So when people freely share different opinions, it creates healthy debate on important issues in which leaders and decision makers gain access to diverse perspectives. This leads to smarter policies and solutions. This reduces the risk of one-sided thinking and encourages more balanced decisions. Also, it supports creativity, innovation, and progress. Freedom to think differently leads to new inventions, creative art, and scientific discoveries. Also, it encourages people to challenge outdated ideas and propose fresh solutions. Many breakthroughs come from individuals who were brave enough to speak or think outside the norm.
Thank you, Charlie. Now I will talk about the negative consequence of freedom of speech. The first negative consequence is cyberbullying and harassment. The anonymity of the internet allows individuals to attack, insult, or threaten others without facing immediate consequences. Victims of cyberbullying often suffer severe emotional and psychological distress, including anxiety, depression, and social withdrawal. When harmful speech becomes widespread in digital spaces, online platforms risk becoming toxic environments that discourage healthy communication. The second negative consequence is economic harm. Irresponsible speech such as false rumors about companies, markets, or products can cause financial loss. For example, stock prices may crash, business may lose customers, and workers may lose their jobs. As a result, unemployment rate will increase, which leads to labor resources not utilized in the economy and higher crime rate. The third consequence is potential damage to individuals' reputations. Defamation, false accusations, and unverified allegations can spread rapidly through digital platforms. This can result in ruining careers, personal relationships, and public trust. Once damaging content is shared online, it's difficult to erase, causing long-lasting effects even if the claims are later proven false. Thank you.
Hello everyone, today I'm here to talk about difference between hate speech and freedom speech. Hate speech refers to a speech that harms individuals and incite harms on individuals. Hate speech also targets people based on identity such as gender or racism. It also discourages dialogue and silence or harm others. However, freedom of speech refers to a speech that encourages dialogues or solutions. It usually targets ideas, actions, and policies. Freedom of speech also promotes democracy, innovation, and social progress. Thank you.
Hate speech has a significant negative impacts on both individuals and society, and its consequences can be seen in emotional, social, and behavioral aspects of daily life. Firstly, hate speech causes psychological harm, especially to those who are directly targeted. When individuals are repeatedly insulted or degraded or based on their race, religion, gender, or background, they may experience anxiety, fear, and a drop in self-esteem. For example, a student who is constantly faces racist comments online may begin to feel unsafe at school and develop long-term emotional stress. Secondly, hate speech creates a social division by damaging relationship and trust between different communities. When hateful messages about a particular group spread in society, people may start viewing each other with suspicion, hostility. This can disrupt social harmony and make it difficult for diverse groups to live together peacefully. For instance, negative posts attacking a certain religion can lead to community tension and misunderstandings. Thirdly, hate speech often encourages violence and discrimination as it normalizes harmful attitudes and behaviors. When hateful ideas are repeatedly frequent, such as messages portraying immigrants are dangerous, some individuals may feel justified in bullying, harassing, or even physically attacking those who are targeted. Overall, hate speech harms emotional well-being, weakens social unity, and increases risk of harmful actions in society.
I'm Tong Zhi Kang, and I'm going to present about the example of hate speech in Malaysia. The first example is about Dr. Zakir Naik, which he referred himself as a new guest, while describing the Chinese and Indians as old guests, suggesting that they should go back first before him, even though he later mentioned that these guests also bring peace to the community. However, his earlier remarks still contain the element of hate speech as they were directed at the Chinese and Indian community in Malaysia. The second example is about Dr. Teo Kok Seong, which he involved in generalization of the Chinese community. He claimed that the Chinese look down at Malays and find their race is not as capable and clever as themselves. By making such statement, he labeled the entire Chinese community negatively. That's all from me about the example of hate speech in Malaysia.
Hello everyone, this is Fatima, and I'm going to talk about the legal approaches around the world. So, around the world, countries balance freedom of speech and hate speech in different ways. International laws protects free expression but allows the limit when speech causes serious harm. The rapid plan of action says only speech that encourages the violence, discrimination, and hatred should be punished, not just the offensive. In the United States, free speech is strongly protected, so even hateful speech is usually legal unless it leads to immediate violence. In many Europe countries, laws are stricter to protect social harmony. For example, Germany bans the incitement to hatred, and France bans Holocaust denial. So for multi-ethnic societies like Malaysia, the goal is balance, stopping the harmful speech while protecting the free expression, supported by education and dialogue. Thank you.
Hello, this is Reenad, and I'm going to present about social media and hate speech. So social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and X play a major role in freedom of speech today. They allow people to share opinions openly and act as modern public spaces for discussion. However, while these platforms support free expression, harmful or hateful content can still appear, even with existing policies in place. Another issue is algorithmic amplification. Social media algorithms promote content that gets high engagement, such as likes and shares. This means controversial or emotionally charged posts are more likely to spread, which can unintentionally amplify hate speech, harmful messages. Finally, moderating content is extremely challenging because billions of posts are uploaded every day. Automated systems can miss harmful content or remove normal speech by mistake. This creates an ongoing debate between protecting freedom of speech and preventing harm. The key question remains, where should we draw the line between free expression and censorship online? Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Abdul Muez, and now I'll be explaining the conclusion part. So, in conclusion, Freedom of speech is essential for a democratic society, but when it turns into a hate speech, it can cause harm, division, and social unrest. Countries aim to balance protecting free expression while preventing real harm, especially in diverse societies like Malaysia. Ultimately, this balance requires clear laws, education, and responsible communication to protect both individual rights and social harmony. Thank you very much.